But typically, if they're asking you, can I search your vehicle, or can I look in your trunk, or can I look in your bag, that typically means they don't have the right to do so without your permission. So I generally advise that if you don't want them to, then to just clearly say no. But a car stop is probably the most frequent type of encounter with the police.
So they can ask for your identification.
Yes.
Is there any specific kind of identification? I assume a driver's license since you're driving, but other than that?
I mean, even if it were just a normal encounter on the street, just providing them with your name and address, even if you don't have an ID, they can ask you to identify yourself.
Okay, and you must if they ask?
Yes.
Under any circumstance? If you're walking the street and a police officer approaches you?
Essentially, in almost any kind of circumstance.
So lesson number one, lesson number 1A and B, be polite and be prepared to identify yourself. So if you're stopped and the police ask to search your car, you have the right to say no.
Yes.
If they are in the right because of these circumstances that put them there, they will, I wouldn't think, tell you, I have the right to search your car.
That's right. And unfortunately, in a lot of circumstances that I encounter with clients or potential clients, they have one version of what happened and what was said, and the officers have a different version. So what I suggest is just clearly state that you are not giving your consent. If they end up searching or seizing anything afterwards, then it would be, a motion to suppress in whatever case you have. But be very, very clear and very vocal in your rights, and say no when you think you have the ability to do so, but don't physically intervene, because then you could be charged.
Well, what about, I imagine the vast majority of car stops are probably nothing more than I didn't use my blinker, or whatever, it's a minor infraction where I have nothing to hide. There's nothing in my car that's illegal. I mean, I imagine that's the vast majority of the time. Would you advise me, I have nothing to hide, they want to search, can I search your car? Should I let them when I know they're not going to find anything?
I would always say no. I would err on the side of caution, just because say you were giving someone a ride home and they had something and you didn't know they had it, and they either dropped it out of their pocket or their bag, or intentionally put it under one of the seats in the car. If you said, fine, search my vehicle, and then they find something and you say, oh wait, that's not mine, it's going to be a little bit difficult to explain and get out of that situation. So I would usually err on the side of saying no.
And then, so if I say no and they feel that they want to search my car, they can then hold me while they try to get a warrant? Is that how it would work?
Well, if they think that they have the legal justification to do so, like I said, a lot of these warrant exceptions have to do with the vehicle and it being mobile. So a lot of times they can do it. The auto exception is just if they have probable cause to believe that there's evidence of a crime in the vehicle, they can search it without a warrant. Another one is an inventory search, where if a police department has a policy of towing a vehicle and searching the car at the impoundment lot to make sure that they have a proper inventory of whatever's in your car, then they can search it without a warrant.
Okay. So it's murky.
It's very murky.
But your advice is say no.
Vocalize yourself.
Much all circumstances.
Be respectful, but vocalize, your consent or lack of consent.